Well, thank you for having me here. I talk about, so my name's Lake, and then this one thing that not in my intro, I'm also the first 100 employees of Alibaba. So it's such a pleasure to be here and then to talk about AI that is dear to my heart. So, oops. So there's one thing that interesting is that we have been talking about AI for over decades. But still, if you look at it, just about 1% believe that AI actually at maturity. We're still at the tip of the iceberg. But is it an adoption issue? Is it a technology issue? McKinsey thinks, through their reports, that it's actually leaders, so who are not steering fast enough. So I came back from NVIDIA's GTC, which is one of the largest AI developer conference in the world last week. So there are a few things I want to share with everyone. One is we believe that AI will be more capable with advanced reasoning. So that means that more efficient, faster, cheaper, and better. The second thing is the type of data. So last 3 years, we talked so much about large language model. And this is just language. So imagine AGI as a human being. So we just developed the mouth. But now we're adding model modality. What does it mean? Audio, video, images. So now AGI have eyes, have ears. And what we need to do next is actually connection to the physical world. So that's why a lot of talks last week at GTC is about physical AI. So how do we connect the AI brain to robotics, to IoT devices, to really connect the real actions? So more autonomous. AI agents, we talk about agentic AI probably for over a year now. But real agentic AI, in our definition, means it's not just the agent prompt engineered through those APIs, but the AI agent actually can autonomously learning through actions, and they can work well together as a crew. So imagine the little ants. The ants actually can understand the world around them, making active reactions, learnings, and they actually can work really well with each other with very low energy consumed. So that's basically another word that we're exploring right now. More risks. I think Seth already talked quite a bit about this. There's a lot of things that we can cover on data privacy and security risk and IP ownership. More political, I'm not going to need to mention here, right? So the launch of DeepSeek actually brought so much conversations. It's not only about, is it about open source versus proprietary models, or is it US versus China? So what I want to share is, as we talk about AI for so many years, so how our enterprise are using AI? So there's so much talk in the past, a focus on AI demos, but what we're seeing right now really is we're at a pivoting moment that all the large enterprises are using AI very efficiently. So Adobe Firefly, for example, is using generative AI for images. So they are the owner of Photoshop, and then we have Microsoft Palette had integrated 360. So I would say my presentation actually is co-work with the Microsoft PowerPoint generator, even though it's not fancy as SAS, but it's really saved me a lot of time. So we also see that how enterprise is using this. Personalization is a good use cases. If you watch Netflix based on your watching pattern and recommend a different type of genre for you. More interestingly is my recent conversation with Netflix is that, so not only they making a recommendation of existing shows, but they're actually based on the popularity of the actors and the storylines they're regenerating, right? So you can see a lot of Netflix created shows now is based on the preference of the audience. We also see recommendation personalizations on makeup, AR, wearing glasses. So it's quite interesting that we see that robotics is another area I just mentioned. So this is a warehouse of Amazon, and we know Alibaba also has been using robotics for automations, packing, picking, optimization, delivery routes. And we have a lot of innovations in the sales and marketing space. So how do we help using AI tools to more productively promote sales and marketing? Cybersecurity is another area to prevent, detect, respond, and heal. So one thing I would say that there's so much innovation currently happening in the cybersecurity space. So if you have, one question I ask is, have you noticed since ChatGPT launched, you're getting more spams through emails, through text messages, because so much easier to generate content and so much easier to impersonalize. So we see significant amount more cyber attack associated with generative AI, and when we have AI criminals, you also need AI police. So how brands are using AI? So we'll talk about all the tech companies and Amazon, Netflix, but now let's look at the traditional brands. So this is just what happened in last year, 2024. You can see all the major brands have been using AI to track fashion trends, to actually create immersive experience, product recommendations, logistics, inventory management. And this is one of my favorite examples because I'm on the board of GIA, which is one of the largest organizations to grade diamonds. If you have diamonds, it's probably a GIA certificate. So in our industry, it's 3,000 years old industry and 100-year-old company. But even for this old industry, we can see that jewelry design is changing. So now you can use the text messages, image to image to generate. User can actually generate those designs. So you don't have to create a design and wait the market to adopt. You can iterate these ideas to see whether you can do pre-sale. When you have enough of momentum, market tractions, you actually start creating. Internal AI tools, that's the other area I would say so many people are using today. It's not surprising, but what we're seeing is what's happening from 2 years ago to now has significant involvement and advancement. So sales planning tool, for example, I showed earlier Salesforce has a sales planning tool, but this is another company called Omni. It's actually in my portfolio, invested by Sancus. So we have the sales planning tools not only generate customized outreach emails, but you can see that for this particular example, the client was trying to reach, the user was trying to reach Snowflake as a client. So what you can see is that they're using the AI-driven algorithm to analyze historical Snowflake sales data, look at the market trends, what they have been talking in social media, look at the financials. And then also you can score the leads. Let's say if you have 20 leads of Snowflakes and other companies, so which one would likely give you more productive introductions, would likely to be the leads you should focus on? Who are they, right? So how do you evaluate in your engagement? And then you can analyze the pipelines as well. So this has been a very powerful tool currently being used by clients like NVIDIA, AMD. Marketing copywriting, so a lot of us are actually using today. And I would say for people who native language is not English, this is an amazing tool to help you speak like a pro. So what's interesting now is not only about content generation, you can see the last items called brand voice consistency. So sometimes we have a large marketing team and you have a team that writing different copies. So how do you keep this marketing consistency? It's very interesting. So this is actually track all your social media posts and to define whether you have a consistency and how it's compared to other brands. Chatbots. Chatbots has been around for a long time, but now we see also quite interesting is that we see a lot of vertical chatbots for healthcare, for companies, and we see a lot of integration of both cloud data, but also proprietary data that's being held by the company. So it's funny that when I talk to so many CIOs and CTOs, I ask them, what is the game changer for you as internal tools? Surprisingly, what I got is meeting note takers. Right? So now you have a Zoom call, it's likely you'll probably can see an AI participant as well. So what does it do? So it's not only generate the automate transcriptions, but highlight actions, integrates calendars, assign team members, integrates with Slacks and other internal tools. So what does it bring to you? So when you have AI really penetrated in everyday life, the challenge that we will talk a lot tomorrow is how do we address the model biases? How do we protect data privacy? And who owns the IP? Right? So for UK is the first country determining that AI cannot be the author of IP patents. But what about human assisted by AI? What about AI assisted by human? So how do we really define, how do we cross the line? So I want to share this new development. So OpenAI has now a government version of API. The reasons the general model, general application, even enterprise level is not able to support the customers who have specific need. For OpenAI Gov, it's really focused on a couple things. Enhanced security and privacy, access to advanced models, customization, and most importantly, administrative controls. So California, so where I come from, California is another state. So because you think a lot of the large companies, except for Microsoft, Google, OpenAI, all these companies are actually based in California. As California government in their positions, how do they balance innovation and also regulatory requirements? So there are so many proposed AI regulations here. I can just read a few here. So you can see that we talk about the algorithm, we prohibit the algorithm that disadvantage people based on gender, race, and other criteria. We want to make sure that the AI is compliant in specific areas like finance and healthcare. Education is another very interesting area. Transportation. So what does that leave us? So there's innovation and investment trends, because I wear many different hats. Not only just as an AI professor, I'm also an investor. Sancus is being a top performing fund in our own chapter. And what we see is that there are so many interests coming to invest in AI, but also there's so much hype on application layer and also in infrastructure layer. So where is everything is going? So the previous speakers actually highlight this already. So what we're seeing is a tremendous amount of compute continue to increase. Since ChatGPT launched in 2022, we already see 100x compute demand to now. So it's only been a little over 2 years. And the other thing we have seen is really involving human and AI relationship. So I want to show one example. So how many of you have heard of Lovable or Cursor or Copilot? Okay, it's good. So I showed this example in my class 2 weeks ago to my students who are Master of Computer Science, Carnegie Mellon, who have spent majority of their life learning programming. What I showed is now, if you want to create an application, for example, pizza delivery, we can do that in 7 minutes. All you need to do is tell them, create a pizza app. Then you can see this in this demo that you start creating, right? And then you said, well, I want pizza delivery. I want to integrate Uber Eats. I want to integrate DoorDash. I want the recipes. You don't need to know how to programming. So what you need to do is just communicate through the apps and then start generating. So in 7 minutes, we create this app. So what does it mean for startup ecosystem? So in the past, when we see the AI startup try to build, the process is someone have an idea, hire a brilliant CTO, 2 co-founders, draft the business proposal, and then fundraise. And then you start creating market traction. Now it's complete change. So now seeing more and more startup founders and saying, well, I have this brilliant idea, particularly for consumer. So let me just use Cursor, use Lovable to create applications that interactive, and let me take it to my customers to see how they use it. And then I have attraction, then I fundraise. So this completely changed the startup ecosystem, and also changed how we educate students. So all of a sudden, my students tell me they cannot find internships. So if you graduate from Stanford, you graduate from Berkeley, if you graduate from CMU, after so many years of grinding to be a top student, all of a sudden, we're not hiring junior developers anymore. So I would love to explore more of this. I know my time is up. So what I want to show is this is my contact, like that, and if you scan the QR code, you will have my contact information. If you want to talk about the future of AI trends, you want to talk about AI education, you want to talk about investment opportunities, just contact me. Thank you again.